Welcome to today's news discussion. I'm Sarah, and I'm joined by Sean.
Hello, I'm Sean. We're here to explore the latest news stories together.
Let's start with a developing story from Toledo, Ohio, where multiple people were shot near a festival on Saturday. The authorities are still searching for those responsible.
That sounds like a serious incident. Do we know how many people were injured in the shooting?
According to the latest reports, at least 12 people were wounded, with 2 of them being critically injured. The victims were taken to nearby hospitals.
That's a significant number of casualties. Were there any details given about the suspects or the circumstances surrounding the shooting?
The police said an active search was underway for those responsible, but they didn't immediately provide details about the suspects or the motive behind the shooting.
So, the investigation is still ongoing. Have there been any arrests made so far?
The reports don't mention any arrests yet. The police are still looking for the suspects.
What's known about the festival where the shooting occurred? Was it a large event?
It was a community street festival in Toledo's Old West End. The area is usually busy during such events.
That must have been chaotic. Were there any eyewitness accounts or descriptions of what happened during the shooting?
The articles don't provide specific eyewitness accounts, but they do mention that the shooting happened near a busy community street festival.
I see. It's a concerning situation. Let's move on to another story and come back to this if there are more updates.
There's been another significant incident near the Israeli-occupied West Bank, where several shooting attacks occurred simultaneously.
That's a very volatile region. What are the details of the shooting attacks?
At least 1 person was killed, and 6 others were wounded in the attacks. The rescue services reported that the shootings happened at multiple sites near the West Bank border.
Oh, that sounds like a coordinated attack. Do we know who was responsible for the shootings?
The reports don't specify who carried out the attacks. However, they do mention that residents in the area were instructed to stay at home.
So the situation is quite tense. Were there any details about the victims or their backgrounds?
The articles don't provide specific information about the victims. They simply state that 1 person was killed and 6 were wounded.
I understand. It's a complex and sensitive situation. Have there been any official responses or reactions to these attacks?
The reports don't mention specific official responses, but it's clear that the situation is being taken seriously, given the instruction for residents to stay at home.
That's a good point. The security measures are likely being heightened in response to these attacks.
Exactly. Let's continue to follow both of these stories for further updates.
Absolutely. It's essential to stay informed about these developing situations.
Coming back to the Toledo shooting, the fact that it happened during a community festival is particularly concerning. It highlights the need for increased security measures at public events.
That's a valid point. The impact of such incidents on community events is significant. It's not just about the immediate harm, but also the long-term effect on community gatherings.
Yes, and it's interesting to note that both stories involve shootings in different contexts, one in a community festival and the other in a region with a history of conflict.
Right, and both incidents have resulted in multiple casualties. The scale of harm in both cases is quite significant.
The reporting on both incidents emphasizes the ongoing investigations and the search for those responsible. It's clear that the authorities are working to understand the circumstances surrounding both events.
It's also worth noting that the response to these incidents, whether it's in Toledo or near the West Bank, involves a significant law enforcement and emergency response effort.
Exactly. The immediate response and the subsequent investigation are critical in both cases.
So, what's the current status of the investigation in Toledo? Are there any leads on the suspects?
The police are still searching for those responsible, but there haven't been any specific leads mentioned in the reports.
I see. And in the case of the West Bank shootings, is there any indication of who might be behind the attacks?
The reports don't provide any clear information about the perpetrators. The situation remains tense and the investigation is ongoing.
It's a challenging situation, especially given the complex political context in the West Bank.
Yes, the context does add an extra layer of complexity to the situation.
As we continue to follow these stories, it's likely that we'll get more details about the investigations and any potential motives.
That's right. We'll need to stay updated on both stories to understand how they unfold.
In the meantime, the focus is on supporting the victims and ensuring the safety of the communities affected.
Absolutely. The humanitarian aspect of these incidents is crucial.
Well, that's all for today's discussion. Thank you for joining us.
Goodbye and see you later.